afternoon. Welcome to this edition of Real Talk here on Shelbyville Now. I'm David Thomas. This is Bo Gill.
Hello, hello.
We're going to sit here and talk, do some real talk and talk about some things that are going on. Bo, I know I've gone through some headlines today. Hostages being released in Israel.
Yes.
That's something to celebrate, but I don't trust either side on this. I don't trust Yahoo and I don't trust Hamas.
No.
They'll be killing each other again in a day or two.
Right. I don't know a world without those two at war. So this is something they say that it's happened, and this is the first time in my lifetime and probably several people's lifetime. But I don't trust it. I think history will tell us not to really trust what's happening, but I'm glad that, I'm not to want to be a rain on everybody's parade, but I'm glad that this is happening today. I see a lot of good things. But historically, it seems like we're just waiting until the next.
If we get 20 people back that were held hostage, that's a good thing.
Yes.
Okay. So what happens after this? There's 15% of the structures in Palestine, in the Gaza Strip, that are still standing. 85% are nothing but a pile of concrete.
Yes,
and dust.
I'll tell you what's going to happen is that'll be contractors will be making millions and millions of dollars.
What contractors? Who's going to be doing the ones?
Because I've already heard the number out there.
I know. Hey, so that's something to keep your eye on. The money to be made after the destruction.
Yes.
Of the Palestinian Gaza Strip,
and it's destroyed.
It's destroyed. Now, what happens going forward? Are they going to finish destroying it? Okay, who's going to clean it up?
That's kind of what I think is.
Are we going to be paying for it to clean it up?
I think.
And then these corporations going to come in and swoop in after we clean it up.
Yeah, and then we'll leave, and then it'll go back to someone else's playground, a dictatorship, and it'll be nice and clean though. Then, I hope that don't happen, but look, money does need to be spent there, but I don't think just our money needs to be spent.
All right, we talk about that for a second. One other headline that came out Friday that just made me just cringe. Pete Hegseth announces that the Qatari Air Force is going to put an Air Force base in the state of Idaho. That's a foreign country having fighter jets and learning how to fly fighter jets in the United States of America on our soil.
Yes, a foreign government or a foreign people that fundamentally
they despise us. They want to kill us. Okay,
but this is supposed to be okay.
The Muslim, I'm not going to say the Muslim, but the radicals,
the radical side,
the radical side that want to kill. Yes, okay,
yes.
And it's embedded in everything over there.
Yes,
that Sharia law mentality, which we could talk about Dearborn, Michigan. We'll do that later. But they're going to have an Air Force base in the state of Idaho. Now, this isn't hearsay. Pete Hegseth rolled it back and said, they're not going to build one. We're just going to train them and let them use our I don't care.
After he bragged about it.
After they spiked the football like it was something big. That's the dumbest thing. And we're spending money on that, which they're all trillionaires, but we're giving them money to do this. And then we've got our own veterans that are struggling, and some of them are homeless, and we can't even take care of our veterans, and we're doing that.
No, yeah, exactly. This is something we didn't vote for. I know this is something that would be
Where's America first? That's what I voted for.
America needs to be first. The state of Idaho is a part of the United States of America, and this should not be allowed.
All right, so
it's coming.
This is something that is telling me I can't trust Washington, D.C. I was watching Tim Burchett, I don't know. I call him Burchett. Yeah. I don't know what he calls himself, but Tucker Carlson had him on the other night, and he basically made this statement. I'm going to have to agree with him. Tucker was talking about the swamp. He said, "Hey, Tucker, the swamp produces some good things. Mosquitoes, he said alligators, but actually there's fish in there. There's wildlife in the swamp."
Oh, yeah.
He said Washington, D.C. produces nothing fruitful. The only thing they're not a swamp. They are a sewer, and it flows continuously. And you know what flows in the sewer.
Yes, I do. And anything that's flying around there, it gets consumed. That's exactly what it is. But, that's exactly what it is on a visual basis, if you will.
Exactly. So he said, I fight. He said, but it's a losing battle.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to play a clip. Glenn Beck sat down with Whitney Webb. Now, this goes back a few months, okay, maybe even a year or so ago, and she was talking about the amount of people that were left in Washington, D.C. that were actually trying to fight. And she went into something that you and I have talked about before, and Brent Smith has been on here with me. We've talked about it before. We have private conversations about how important it is to have local relationships with your neighbor. Okay. Yes. Now, I won't play this clip. It's pretty lengthy, but I want everybody to pay real close attention to it and understand how important our local establishment, our local governments, our local neighbors, just our local businesses, even how important they are. I'm going to play this clip, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it.
Public. There's clearly people who go to Washington and actually believe it, and then are turned. Or they go to Washington, they're already a dirtbag and they know what they're getting into. Yeah. And then there's a few that go and stand and are trying to hold the line.
But they're a minority.
A big minority.
Or they get forced out.
Correct.
If I'm not mistaken, Ron Johnson, right? Was the one that challenged a lot of COVID narratives.
Yes.
And I mean, even mainstream media, NPR, supposed to be objective, says, oh, he spreads conspiracy theories and his challenger's a rising star. And, you know, I mean, they're very clear about who they favor and who they don't. And if they don't want you to win, they'll gerrymander your district. They'll do some, I mean, there's lots of tools that they can use to prevent you from staying in office, and who knows what we'll see in the midterm elections. But ultimately, you know, those type of people that are willing to stand their ground and actually fight for the American people are very few. Even in, it doesn't really matter what party you're talking about. It's very small number when you consider the amount of votes needed to pass certain legislation. So I think ultimately, the way out of this is for the American people to realize that yes, this is a fight between good and evil, but if you're looking for the good guys, stop looking at people that are put on the TV screens in front of you and start looking at your neighbors. And
the answer is so clear. Local. Local.
Absolutely. This is really us versus them. It's not left versus right anymore. We are so far beyond that. Really.
And it's amazing and very heartening how many people that I know and I interview that we would have been against each other 15 years ago. We would say, "Oh, you're," and now it's like, no, forget all of that. You know, and it's heartening that people are waking and starting to come together. Question is, do we make it fast enough? I've been saying for a while, this is going to be a photo finish. I don't know which one's going to.
I don't think anyone really does. And I think it comes down to how much responsibility people are willing to take for their own lives and you know, how far communities are willing to go to ensure that they're self-reliant in the face of what we're facing.
What does that mean to you?
Well, if the banks are deplatforming people, you can't use their financial system. Are you going to go to the CBDC land where eventually you won't be able to spend money without like a microchip in your hand and all of this stuff? You know, there's obvious red lines people can't cross. How are you going to feed your family? How are you going to keep your house heated in winter? You know, basic needs. I think we should probably be taking some lessons from the Amish, to be honest. I think, you know, I think they got a lot of stuff right.
That the Amish, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. We have outsourced our needs to corporations that want to enslave us. So we have to start producing our own stuff at a local level. It's all about exit and build, and that's what we have to do. And the more people that do that, the better off we will be. The real question is how accustomed are Americans to convenience, and will we be enslaved by that convenience or not? And I think that's the ultimate. So far, we have been.
A lot of people have been.
Yeah.
All righty, Bo. This is a very interesting conversation.
Yes.
You and I have talked about this before, how important it is to develop local relationships, how important our local law enforcement is. There could be a day coming, one day, Bo, where we have, I'm not going to say a civil war, but I'm going to say civil unrest, to where people that reject this machine of finance, the CBDC, you got to have, one of the big things that's coming up right now is digital IDs to be able to do any commerce.
Right.
If you don't have a digital ID, that's where we're headed.
No.
AI is driving all this.
Oh, yes.
So I mean, it's a scary time that
Yes.
we have ahead.
Oh,
Bo.
it's very scary. And just to get to what she started, relationships. Get away. Stop trusting the person that you're hearing from on the TV. Go talk to your neighbor. Y'all might have disagreements, but that's okay. You talk them out and talk together. You see some of this in local government as well. People being isolated, people that are really standing up for their constituents. You see them being isolated, and when you see that, and you know that somebody's standing up for what's right, that's when you've got to join, the cause.
But here's the thing, Bo. We've tried to make it a left and right thing locally. Okay, it's not a left and right thing in North. She pretty much said it. It's good versus evil. Yes, but it's all that's aside. We're past this party or that party.
Oh yeah,
we're way past that.
We're
talking about Americans and Constitution of the United States being just ripped up, burned in front of our faces, and nobody's doing anything about it.
Yes.
So what we do about it is we concentrate locally.
Yes, we do. And when we say concentrate locally, you look at those that are willing to maybe take office or run for office that will stand by.
Well, let's just don't even talk about it. Office ain't gonna really matter when everybody's trying to figure out how they're gonna heat their homes. We're gonna have to have law and order, of course, and that's where it's important. But when you've got banks that you won't be able to do business with the banks unless you bow down and kiss the ring of whoever. Maybe local organizations coming together, local cooperatives coming together, and that's going to take. I'm not saying an office to do that, because I honestly think that's a failed system. It's just people caring about one another at the point.
It takes.
So I don't, even though we're going to have a local election here coming up, and I think it's important who we put in there, but it's more important about who I've developed a relationship with that I can talk to and say, hey man, you got some lumber?
Yeah.
You got some wood that I can buy.
That's
hey
right.
man, you got some chickens. Hey, I got some green beans and corn over here that I've raised. We're talking about basic fundamentals of life here, that we either bow down to the system eventually, or we can't have stuff. We have to do it. We're going to have to produce our own stuff.
It seems like the mark of the beast to me. It's almost at that point.
Yeah.
Unless you have this, you don't get
that's
this.
Basically what it is.
It's time to suffer, and it's time to be prepared to suffer. I think that's what, anybody that preps, that's what they're doing. They're preparing for a time when there will be nothing. Look, we're all dependent on some things, and we all need to kind of look at what we are dependent on and try to cut some things, right?
Yeah.
A lot of things. That's the plan, is to get us in a room by ourselves to be on this phone.
Okay, so how many people are responsible enough to take care of themselves rather than bow down and be a slave to the convenience like she was talking about?
Not enough until they do without. I think, they're just able to have, always have. And when you finally don't have, I think that's the only way you really learn, because you can't be taught while you're having, your cake and eating it too. Right? You can't learn this from a book. I think this is just something that has to come from experience.
So here's a question, but I wonder how many people out there right now, if the power was cut to their home, the gas was cut to their home, they didn't have a vehicle, and they were left there with their family, how many people would be able at that point to continue to live, self-sustain, right there on their own property? How many people could do that?
I would say a small percentage, a small percentage. I think that most people would be wondering who to call, or what. There'd be very few that would be able to start fires and to
I think there's people out there, Bo, that would help people.
Oh yes,
learn how to do this stuff.
They would, but I think that we're just becoming too reliable on everything. I think of it a lot. I'm a paper guy. I like paper, but everything's moving to email and everything's digital.
Well, email's old now, though. People won't even answer the emails. It's all right here.
Yes, it is.
Right here on this little thing
that we call a phone, but it's like a computer.
Drive down the road, Bo, and see how many people are, instead of watching where they're going, they've got this up. I know there's a law against it, but I stopped today and I was looking at a traffic light, and just about everybody that was stopped had their phone.
Oh yes,
like this in front of them.
Yes.
Go to a restaurant, sit down with your family sometime, and watch how many people, instead of talking to each other, are like this.
And there's a phenomenon going on with our younger people. They're establishing relationships, the whole relationship, through text, and then they see each other in person, and they're like, "Oh, this is weird." Reality. Talk, be a human. One day I think that it's easiest to say that, easy for us, because we didn't have those devices growing up. But that's when you have to be a strong parent. Strong parenting. Yes, the iPads, the phones, they have their time to maybe, make the kid be quiet a little bit.
Yeah.
But they don't need to be the parent because it's too easy to make it the parent.
How many people, Bo, do you know that could actually raise a garden, feed their family, raise chickens, raise cattle, do whatever it is they need to do? How many people are out there that could go hunt, go fish, catch food, do that, and self-sustain, where they didn't need any help? They didn't need a grocery store. They didn't need anything other than what they had. There's not many people.
Not many. A lot of people that I know would. Most of the people that I know that I'm friends with probably can. But when I go around the community, when I observe, I would think that a small amount would be able to do that. And then it would depend on.
All right. I hope Anita Epperson is still watching. I told her to make sure to watch this show because I want a comment from her. Anita, I know you guys raise your own food and do stuff like that. How many people do you know that's capable of doing that? And in the time of a crisis, here's the thing about it. When stuff like this happens, it's too late. You have to kind of be prepared.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of people suffer.
Yes.
If we ever get to a point to where, hey, your bank account's froze.
Oh,
By the way, we're going to turn your electricity off unless you come up here and have a chip installed in your hand.
Right. And that could really happen. And that's what the choice you would have to make. So you've got to prepare for that.
Yeah.
And that's what cash is for. And that's why they're trying to rip it out of our hands.
Well, I think basically when cash goes away, we were talking about the price of silver today, Bo. It went up to $52.
I could save off a little piece for you and start selling it.
But like all the old currency and stuff, silver coins, silver rounds, silver bars, they will become currency. I think ammunition will become currency.
Yes.
In the case if we choose to pull ourselves outside of the beast, outside of the digital ID, kiss our ring slavery,
and
that
I
you're going to go into
this earlier when America started and England, we were kind of run by England. They decided that they were going to quit exporting stuff to us, that would hurt us. And what we had to do as a people,
we had to grow our own stuff.
Had to grow, and we said, okay, we don't need your stuff. And we grew our own stuff. And then that's kind of what I feel like this is, but on a technical aspect.
She was talking about, she made the statement in that video, we're going to have to exit and build. Okay. What she mean by exit the current system of convenience that we're in and build our own stuff.
Yes.
Do her own thing. Because she went on to elaborate there. I wish people would listen to this. This lady, Whitney Webb, is probably one of the smartest minds on the planet right now.
Yes.
And she is researching and she knows the players behind the sinister plans. And recently she came out and said that the people are rejecting the CBDC, the digital currency, and they're like getting plan B together, and it's the digital ID where you've got to have ID, and it's for your security.
Oh, yes, of course.
It's a fraud protection.
Always, yes.
And how many times now do you go onto a website or you sign up for an account, then they send you a text and ask you for a number?
Oh, yeah.
Double verification. What do you think that's about?
Oh, that probably goes into the government.
You think it's to protect you?
No, I don't feel like I'm protected at all. I feel like I'm vulnerable, if anything.
Exactly. Okay, so people will sit there and listen. The people that are so caught up in the convenience and the the QR code. Oh, let me scan that for you.
Let me beat my card.
Yeah, all right, okay. This all is a part of the plan that's going to put normal people into a slavery. You're their slave.
Yes,
if you don't want to do that, too bad. You can't do anything. You can't buy anything.
Play it out in your mind. I mean, obviously that's where it leads to. It's just, it finally gets that we love this convenience so much that, so you're finally willing to sell your soul for this? Yes.
Think about the self-checkouts too. Think about that. All right, that come along about 10 years ago. You started seeing it. Yeah. First place I saw it in town was Kroger.
Yeah.
Okay, you go over there. Okay, instead of dealing with a human being, now you're dealing with a computer screen, and you got to pay by credit card now or debit card, because if you try to do cash, it's really inconvenient.
Oh, they'll have maybe one for cash.
Yes. Walmart started doing it, and they basically shut all their lines down. You had to go through there for a while. Now they've brought back because people started pushing back. Yeah. You know why? They started losing a little bit of business.
Yeah. You dehumanize it. You do. I mean, you don't have to talk to the person ringing you up, but it brings human. That's what makes us human. And if we lose that,
Right.
and this AI and this everything's automated and mechanical and this and that, what are we at the end of the day? Who are you? I mean, I think
Right.
it's just a field of depression and of need. I mean, you know, we've got religion, and this is becoming like more of a religion and a lifestyle. And we're all just in this virtual world. Look, that virtual world is fake and it don't exist.
Yeah. All right. So, Anita, here's the thing you're talking about. People over 30. There's probably still a few young people around, but I'm going to even go one step further and say people over 50 that were used to, like, refrigerator was a luxury. Okay. Now it's like a necessity. What happens if your refrigerator goes out? What do you do about food? How do you store food? Have you ever heard of canning? Okay. Anita does it.
There's
And I
not
know
much canning
My
anymore.
mama can.
There are people that
Okay.
can.
And I know my wife can.
Well, their parents came from, or a lot of those, your dad, they came from the generation where they did without, where like they suffered with the Great Depression, or they were raised by parents that were affected by that. And now these generations are raised by people that had everything.
Well, my parents, when they came up, they didn't even have electricity in the house. They used like lanterns that burned on oil.
So imagine
coal
that
or
mindset.
Kerosene.
Imagine that mindset when you would just want to conserve everything. I mean, that's where we've lost it, because now we've got people that have had, and their children have, and they have, and then it finally gets to where we're living in a computer by ourselves in a room talking to robots.
I know. And you got something Anita says, I use cash and don't self-checkout. I mean, there's a lot of places you can still do that, of course.
Yeah, I do that.
And here's the thing: if you go to some of the places that do take cash, you know, which most everybody still does around
there's
here.
A few that I'm mad at.
I know, but if you pulled out $100 bill and gave it to them, they look at you like you're a criminal.
Oh yes, they do. Are you a drug dealer?
Exactly.
Sir? No, I happen to use money. You know, money.
Make cash great again.
It can be 100, it can be a 50, it can be $1. It's called money, and it doesn't tell you anything except that it's money, and that you've got enough, you know. And I don't know if it's backed. I mean, I think they just print them now. You know.
Yeah.
But it in our day and time, that's what we can buy things with. And anyone that opens a business or is open for business should accept any form of currency, legal tender, that is available.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I'm sorry, I got a problem with
I do too. All right, so going back to the video, she made the statement, and Glenn Beck was saying, right versus left. It's not that anymore. I agree with a lot of people that I used to disagree with, because it's us against them now.
That's right.
And he's talking about the people, the lowly people. We're fighting against globalism.
And I mean, people that think it's okay to put Qatari military, and they've been spending too much time out of the United States, apparently.
I know,
for that
man.
to happen. That should happen in no way at all.
I know.
But it's the same type of thing. And look, these are people that we trust. I mean, that make Pete Hegseth. You know, overall, I like the guy. I think he's made some, you know. But this right here,
but you go to who's really running the show, the elite globalists. They want everything digitized, everything under their control, so they can monitor every single thing we can do. It will be a surveillance state. That's where we're headed.
You have to get pre-approved to buy anything.
Digital IDs are coming.
Yes.
All right. We have to push back on those, just like people have been pushing back on this central bank digital currency.
Yes.
Okay. They're going to try to take our currency away.
Yes.
The chips in our debit cards right now, they've been around for a long time. The little tap and go things, little scan things, all that. It's part of the system to get us used to the convenience of just pushing a button.
It'll be the optic one next, where you just blink at them twice and you pay. I'm telling you,
it'll be and they're going to put chips inside of us or in our hands or something.
Look, they can try all they want, but I'm not taking no chips.
And see, when you say no to that, Bo, that's when we have to be prepared, because they will shut us off one day. It's coming.
You know, that's just going to have to be a day that
not to make anybody alarmed, but just to remember how local relationships, your neighbors, how human relationships, not on this stupid thing here.
It's convenient. It's okay to use it as convenience.
Oh yeah, but we have become a slave to the convenience.
Yes,
and a slave to these big corporations that are ramming this down our throat.
Something to think
it's
about.
Coming. So the guy that's got the little business in your community, and this is another reason I like to see some of this overpopulation that's running with this mindset into our area squelched down a little bit, because that mindset is being imported across the country.
Oh, yes.
Into small communities to where it's the way it's going to be. Well, it's time to stand up and say, no, let's stop this mess. We want to be able to control our own.
Yes.
Our own
They're
lives.
messing with their freedom, y'all.
Yeah.
They're messing with their freedom.
All right, Bo, we're going to get out of here. We're going to come back. And then Thursday, we're going to talk about something similar to this. And we're going to elaborate just a little bit more on this digital world that we're living in.
Yes,
so we'll be back
did.
on Thursday, and hope to see you then. Thanks for watching. Please share our video. Please go back and watch the video clip that we played here if you didn't see it, because it's very important for people to understand how important our neighbors and having a small knit community